What's up, guys? So, like I said before, I wanted to come on here and talk about, I don't think I've ever done a Facebook Live. It makes me really nervous because with dogs and kids being crazy, and I'll probably play with my hair because I'm nervous because we all have our own form of stimming. So I wanted to answer some questions. I recently kind of opened up about some of the things that Alex has going on, and I wanted to talk about that and like what we're going through. So Alex was diagnosed with, we had him assessed for autism at 18 months. He had red flags for it, but our insurance said come back at age 2 and we'll confirm or tell you that he doesn't have it. We came back at age 2 and they did diagnose him with autism. He definitely had, this is where the Tourette's and autism world kind of, they mix lines, because the way, actually what's really interesting is we were at a doctor's appointment before we even had him assessed. I'm gonna be all over the place because I never do lives and I'm just not very good at this kind of stuff. So before we had him assessed, we were at a totally different doctor's appointment, nothing to do with autism or anything. He was maybe a year old or a year and a half, and he would always rock in the stroller, but like kind of like rocking and like hitting his head. And I kind of wasn't paying attention. I was at the doctor's appointment. I was talking to him about something, and the doctor was like, does he always do that? And I was like, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about this. And then they're like, well, I think you should have him assessed for autism. And I'm like, autism? His nickname is Smiles. Like, he's smiling, he's making eye contact. Like, you're crazy. I'm here for a totally different reason. But, you know, it's still a doctor and I respected what he said. So I had him evaluated, and sure enough, they're like, yeah, you know, there are some red flags that we see. And then came back at age 2 and got diagnosed. And by then he had all types of stims by the official diagnosis. He had the rocking, he had the hand flapping, he had vocal stims, which now we can actually throw into the Tourette's world, where he would just scream. He would just be sitting there and then he would just like scream, and it scared the crap out of you if you weren't ready for it. So we had those types of things, and I'm trying to think what else in the autism world. Super sensory, couldn't put his feet on sand or grass, you know, just different things. Gagging issues with different foods. Anyways, so fast forward, that's been our autism world. I have no problem doing an entire Facebook Live about the world of autism. It consumes our life, but for now, I kind of opened up recently about tics and Tourette's, and I wanted to go over like what he does, different meetings I've had with doctors, to kind of go over that. So, and answer some of your guys' questions, because I reached out and said, what questions do you have about tics and Tourette's? So let's talk about that. First question was, when did you find out about it? So there's a very thin line, like I said, between stimming and like a tic. So it took me a long time to go over what is a tic and what is stimming. So let's see, what would he do first? Jake, I know you're watching, and I should have had you right next to me so I could be asking you these things. Start with his eyes. So he would like blink his eyes a lot, and then he clear his throat a lot. And so that was when we got the tics diagnosis about 6 months ago with the neurologist. I took him into the neurologist, and he was doing blinking and all kinds of different tics, and the neurologist was able to assess what is not an autism stim and what is a tic. So the neurologist diagnosed him with tics. And then that's where I learned at that visit that you actually normally don't get a Tourette's diagnosis until the age of 8. First of all, they want to give kids a chance to grow out of tics until the age of 8, because a lot of kids have tics, not even on the autism spectrum, and they could grow out of it, and then you don't have a lifelong diagnosis. Also, you cannot do anything medication-wise until the age of 8. The only Tourette's medication that we'll get into is actually a brain numbing medication. They do not even start it until the age of 8, and they wouldn't even give it to Alex now. And what I wanted to talk about is, so we were at tics at 6 months ago, and just recently I've been posting more videos. We've got a lot of this rolling, a lot of raising his arms in the air, and he takes his his chin to his shoulder and needs to rub it across like that. You've seen him. I've posted him. That's probably why you're here. He does that probably 50% of his day. He does that a lot. Now, one thing that's very commonly asked for me from doctors and friends and people also trying to get to the bottom of this is, when do we notice like a trend? Do we notice a trend like when he's nervous, when he's trying something new, when he's at rest? And I actually don't see a trend because it happens so frequently that I see it when he's playing games. I see it when he is just watching TV. I see it when he first wakes up. I see it midday. You can't say it's because he's sleepy. You can't say it's because he's nervous. You can't say because he's at rest, because he does it all the time, which also is the boundary line between tics and Tourette's. Tics usually are during an event, and Tourette's is too. But you know what I should do? I should, now that I'm on the computer, the phone, I'm not going to be able to reference it, but there's a really good website that straight down the line goes tics and Tourette's, and you can go back and forth, and maybe I'll do another live on why Alex falls into the Tourette's category. But a lot of tics people are like, they tic when they're nervous, or they tic when they're excited or whatever, and Alex just tics all the time. So, oh, and also one of the other differences between tics and Tourette's are if it impedes on what he's doing. So I actually have a video of it today. He was unable, do I have like a pretend cup? No, yeah. So let's just say that this was like his cup of drinking. So he was ticking so much that he actually couldn't drink out of his cup. I have it on video for the neurologist. I have another neurology appointment on Wednesday. If you're interested, I might hop on here and talk about, you know, what he, what signs and what things neurology said to look out for and what neurology said. So anyways, another difference between tics and Tourette's is tics is so severe that it, like, Alex will drop things like from his hand. Like when he tics, he'll like, I don't want to drop this, but you know, he'll drop something out of his hand, a pencil, a cup, an iPad, whatever, because like his tic, he just drops it. And then, like I said, today he couldn't drink his drink because he was ticking so much. So then that got him into the category of Tourette's. I also had a phone conversation with a developmental pediatrician. It's not the neurologist, but it is a developmental pediatrician. He's the guy that diagnosed him with autism. And he also agreed that he's confident in upgrading him from tics to Tourette's because of the severity of his tics recently. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys want to know about the difference. So the frequency of how often they are, the severity of how often they are. Something that I asked is, do you think that all forms of Tourette's include vocal cussing? And the answer is no, they do not. You can have Tourette's without any verbal tics at all. You can have Tourette's with vocal cussing. In fact, only 2% of people with Tourette's have vocal cussing. So is it 2 or 20? I don't know, but it's low. it's not 100. So not all of them have the vocal cussing. All right. So Lindsay said, is there a treatment or cure for it? There is a medicine for Tourette's, but they do not, like I said earlier, they do not give it until the age of 8. And even then, they really err on the side of caution because it is a brain numbing medication. So it will make them sleepy. It might change their personality. First of all, he's too young for it. Like I said, he's 4 and it starts at 8. And second of all, they really err on the side of caution with it. Maybe even starting on like really low doses at age 8 because it's not really recommended. You kind of change the person on who they are, because by numbing the brain, you're also numbing those impulsive habits to need to tic. So there is a medication for it. It does not cure it. It just literally, it's like a Xanax on crack. It just supposed to like chills you out a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I hope that we don't need it. I really hope that even though he got bumped up, which is kind of rare from tics to Tourette's so young, I'm really hoping that we don't need to medicate for that. So there is a treatment, cure, but I shouldn't even say cure. There is a medication, long story short, for it. I do want to touch on the world of ABA really quick. That's, I forget what it stands for, but it's the world of autism, and it's teachers that you either go to an ABA service place or you have somebody come to your house. Like we have somebody coming to our house 4 days a week. since he was 18 months old to help us with some behaviors and some autism things. What I don't like about ABA, we can do a whole talk on ABA and how we feel about it. I am kind of straight down the middle on liking it and not liking it. But what I don't like about it is part of ABA is to normalize the child. And so that is to, get rid of stimming and ticking. So what I need to do is find a voice for Alex so that when autism teachers come to our house every day and he's ticking and like doing his thing, they go, oh, calm bodies. Oh, you don't get a sticker until you have a calm body. Well, guess what? When you have Tourette's, you can just tell that person to fly a kite because that's not going to do anything for anybody. Like, he can't help it. So I realized that you're trying to normalize it, and I don't even like that word. But like, don't withhold your treatment. Nick wants to be in the live video. Okay, Nick, I don't know yet. Like, I don't know if I can trust you with that. Hold on. I have questions to answer, and then maybe I'll let you pop in here. What was I going to say now? ABA. So ABA tends to, try to really get rid of those actions in him. And I really don't appreciate that by telling him to have a calm body because he can't. Okay, let's get down to the next question. How confident are you that he will be loved, not just by you and your family as he gets older? This is a really interesting autism question, and I actually really like this question because it's something that an autism mom, and like I said, Jake's out with the kids right now, but I actually should have had him in this video. I would like to get his take on it too. I am worried about it because a part of autism is, not really knowing social norms, and I'm always afraid he's going to hurt someone's feelings. I'm always afraid, no worries, Nick. I'm always afraid that he is going to say the wrong thing, offend somebody, because he has autism, so he's very straightforward with you. If he doesn't like you, if he doesn't want to shake your hand hello, he'll just be like, no, like, I don't want to do that. And in some ways, like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. Like, how cool is that? And in other ways, I'm like, no, buddy, like, this is a social norm. Like, I need you to do this. So I think he's the cutest, handsomest little boy. And I think he's so fun and he's so polite. But I definitely do worry about bullies and other people loving him and respecting him. So that's a great question because it's definitely something as an autism mom that I think about and worry about because we love him. And I just want everybody else to love him too. Is there any guilt feeling at fault for his autism, and has it been reconciled? Oh boy, what are you doing to me? I love it. Of course there's guilt. I don't know what happened. Kaylee doesn't have autism. I don't have autism. Jake doesn't have autism. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Is it, if I didn't take any prescribed medications, like in a good way, like I didn't take any drugs or prescribed medications or anything. Of course, no alcohol, no smoking. I took my folic acid. I took my prenatals for pregnancy. I went to every single doctor's appointment. I can't tell you why. I even delayed vaccinations, so don't come at me with the vaccination thing. Like, he got vaccinated after his autism diagnosis because I was scared of autism with a child with a nickname of Smiles. So your guess is just as good as mine. You could really get wonky and start thinking, should I had my house mold checked before I got pregnant or while I was pregnant? Yeah, maybe. Like, there's some theory out there. There's so many theories. Should I have not eaten red meat? Maybe. Should I? Gosh, I don't know. There's a thing about drinking out of non-BPA water bottles. I mean, those kind of stuff in a special needs mom's mind, like OCD, like back. Yeah, that's true. So Jake's reminding me of belly shocking. I do really regret that, and that sounds horrible, so let me explain what that is. So in utero, Alex, I had more amniotic fluid than I was supposed to for some reason. I don't know. And so his heart rate was really low. And so they didn't want to give a super premature forced birth, like make me birth him early. So they would actually, and Jake was there for them too. Now I think that this is so wrong, and I wish I would have defended myself and stuck up for my baby, but it was Kaiser. Kaiser's a major place. Like, I didn't know. So anyways, heart rate was low because there was so much amniotic fluid. So what they would do once a week in a non-stress test from, I don't know, what do you think, babe? Like 25 weeks to when I birthed him at 35, 36 weeks, they would take this little tool that would kind of shock my belly and make a big noise to scare him, to make his heart go faster so that his heart rate would catch up to where it's supposed to be. Well, hindsight, guess what? Why are medical professionals not thinking about this? Your heart rate goes back down to normal as soon as you're not scared anymore. So even if you get scared for a couple minutes, like, his heart rate's gonna go back down. So could that be why? Because they wanted his heart rate to go up, so they would use this little baby shocker tool on my stomach, which I really hope they don't use anymore on people. Maybe. I mean, I'm just following the rules here, people. I don't know, except for the vaccine thing. I didn't follow the rules on that, and ironically, he still has autism. What the heck? So, your guess is as good as mine. What is the funniest thing you've heard per Tourette's? Well, now that I have a child with Tourette's, I look into it more. I don't think anything on a disability is necessarily funny, but if you want to have a lighter side to it, I mean, I think the vocal ones are the most funny. I don't want to say the ones where they drop things because that's just sad. Like, it is sad. I watch my kid do it all the time. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. I just choked on my own spit. So maybe the ones where they say things like, Beyonce's my mom. Like, they just blurt out funny things. And, I hope that they think that's funny. I do watch a lot of TikTok, which hopefully doesn't get banned. But, I watch a lot of creators with Tourette, and they can actually laugh at themselves as well. So I am in no place to laugh at anybody, so I don't want to say anything is funny in that world. But since they laugh at it, sometimes I can laugh at it. Let's see, did we talk about everything? So I have a neurology appointment, a phone consult on Wednesday, and he wants to turn it into a video consult where he watches Alex. Like, I just put it on video and I turn it toward him, and guaranteed this kid tics constantly. He's gonna see the tics, and he's the one that diagnosed him with tics. So I already got the verbal, I think we should go to Tourette's from developmental pediatrician, and then the neurologist is the one that bumps you from tics to Tourette's. So I will keep you updated on what they say for that. And that's kind of it. If you guys have any more questions for me, let me know. Thank you for coming in. Sorry for catching the tail end of this, but it's been a journey, and he's a freaking bomb kid. He's so funny. He's so fun. I love that his nickname used to be Smiles. I just, like, let's be honest, like, being a special needs mom is freaking tough. Like, it's freaking tough to be a mom in general. It's freaking tough to be a caregiver, an aunt, a grandma, whatever, a dad, an uncle, a friend. Like, all of that shit's hard. But it is really hard to be a special needs mom. Because, like, one of these questions that someone asked me for the guilt is you run through a million questions in your mind every day of what could I have done differently? What am I currently doing wrong? What could I be improving? Should I change insurances if I don't like all these answers that I'm getting? It's a daily freaking thing, man. You're fighting with insurance, and you're paying Easter seals $600 a month, and we have really good insurance. That's just our copay for autism teachers to come into the house to help us. Like, that's another thing about social media. I have so many rants to go on. Is that, like, you see a perfect world, but you don't see what's going on in the background. You don't see his tics until I recently opened up about it. You might not have known about his autism. He had red flags for autism at 18 months. He's 4. He had an official autism diagnosis at age 2. Another thing I want to touch on his autism is it's called splinter skills. So he has splinter skills, meaning he is incredibly talented in some areas and far behind on others. So he has the ability to name off shapes that you don't even like think about. Like you definitely don't think a preschooler would say like hexagon, pentagon. I mean, all these things, all these shapes, it's not like your normal ones. He has them all memorized. He knows the planets from the sun to, well, now Pluto got the boot, but you know what I mean. He can name them in order. Gosh, he knows dinosaur types. He knows the rainbow, the all the colors that it should be. Of course, he knows all his colors, but he has memorized the rainbow, and he draws rainbow shapes all the time in the perfect order. He knows how to read. He's learning how to read. He is 4 years old, you guys. He just turned 4 in July, and I'm not bragging. I'm giving myself a chance to appreciate these because I'm not telling you the hardships that we're having that I'll get to in a second. So I'm not here spinning like, my kid does this and this and this and this and this. It's because I'm celebrating these wins because I'm so scared for the future of the deficits. Like, he's not potty trained yet, and he's 4. And God damn it, have I not tried to potty train this kid 7 times. 7 times. I potty trained Kaylee in 1.5 days. He just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. He loves the routine, the autism side. He loves the routine of washing his hands, putting down the toilet seat or putting up the toilet seat, getting toilet paper, washing your hands after, shutting the door, but he just does not understand the concept of potty training. I have had autism teachers from the state coming in and help me, and he's 4. So I'm nervous about that. I'm nervous about his social. I don't tell you guys how aggressive he is to me. He kicks my ass, man. Like, he's 40 pounds, and he has no problem round kicking me in the face if he doesn't like what I say. He throws things that he shouldn't. So, you know, you hear me being like, he knows all his dinosaurs. It's because in my head, I'm like, okay, we have 1 win. Let's handle all these other ones. Or just, okay, let's soak in this 1 win. Like, this is a win that he's so freaking smart. In fact, I actually had him tested with the state to be a savant. And you can test every year because he could qualify at a different time, but he did not test for a savant, but he did test for the intelligence of a 6 to 7-year-old. And he turned 4 in July. He turned 4 3 weeks ago. So he's a very smart kid, but don't get me wrong. We have a lot of hurdles ahead of us, and I'm scared. I'm a mom, and I love him, and I love both my kids. Oh my God, there's so many topics I can just go on and on, like having a life for Kaylee, and if that's fair, and blah, 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 blah. I can answer all those later, if you even want to know. I don't want to be rambling, and you're like, Jessica, shut up. All I want to know about is this one thing. So, one more thing with autism that's a pretty important part of our life is his hypotonia. Hypotonia means low muscle tone. Alex has low muscle tone where he kind of walks with like his stomach out and his bum out because he doesn't have a lot of core muscle to like suck it in and like stand up straight. He also has bent ankles in a little bit. So actually just last week or the week before, we got fitted for ankle braces, and I have the telephone call this Friday with orthopedic to try to get insurance to cover some ankle braces for him to strengthen his ankles, which I'm so stoked about. He has PT for hypotonia. He has occupational therapy for autism. Also with hypotonia comes low muscle tone for his throat. So he's got to have feeding therapy because he can choke really easily with low muscle tone in his throat. Is there anything else you guys want to hear about? I feel like I super rambled. Sorry. I'm just kind of spitting it all out there. I've had a tough mom day, so you're kind of getting like the feisty side of me. But if not, and if there's something later you want me to talk about, I, as you can tell, am an open book. I might jump over to my other special needs mom Instagram, Raising Someone Special, and just open a forum on that, and then maybe go live, maybe, depending on how long the kids are out for, because they're crazy when they're in here. And then that is like 1,700 followers, so I'm sure they might actually have some interesting questions too, maybe. Anyways, you guys, just rocking this family life thing, man. Thank you guys if you are watching this and if you are friends of ours, which you all are because this is a closed account, I'm only friends with you if I know you and I love you, so I love you. Thank you so much. What? Oh, you're so sweet. You're gonna make me cry. I'm supposed to be feisty. What is the best way for us friends to be there for you? Why? Why do you do this to me? Bro, just freaking listening to me. That's amazing. Like, if you don't have a special needs kid, you don't need to be listening to this right now unless you just find it interesting. So just, being there, listening, don't make me cry. What is going on? Come on, Botox, work for me. Just listen and hang out with us and understand that if you see him doing quirky things, it's okay to watch him do those quirky things.